now. What are your initial thoughts on the recent wave of defections that we've witnessed? I want to start with you, Rotimi.
Yeah, initially I felt it's a bit too early because the election is still about 2 years away.
Okay.
In fact, even the timetable is not yet out. But all these comments about it's a movement, is for the good of the people, it's like you say that we are no kids. We've been around for a while and we are not naive when it comes to political comments like that.
Yeah.
Because that was just a mere comment, to cover for the real reasons, the hidden agenda for the campaign. All the same, it's all about 2027. Because even Asiwaju was in Lagos and he was in opposition, and Lagos was in opposition till 2015. So how did being in opposition affect Lagos State? Except they want to tell us that it actually affected Lagos State. And even Delta State all along has been in PDP. So why the sudden change? We all know it's about 2027, and of course there are other suspicions about, one like Adams Oshiomhole sometimes said that once you join our party, all your sins are forgiven. But let's just keep it at the focus is on 2027.
And elsewhere, governor of the state has a case with the.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Has a case with the FCC.
So we all know the game, but all the same, the ball is about 2027, and of course, in order to enjoy an extended immunity. So, but let's see how it goes. It's too early. Some of them might have to return because it's not like they are. I had the governor Sherif saying that we are in charge. Everybody will queue. It's not as easy as he pronounced it. But let's see how it goes.
We spoke about ideological bankruptcy with some of our politicians. I want to understand why that is so, because, I mean, of course, the recent governor who has now moved from the PDP to the APC at one point in time criticized the APC, but right now he's singing the songs of the APC. So, what is responsible for this? Because some will look at this and say, well, these people don't have any sort of any sort of ideology, because if they do have, then they would have remained in their party, no matter how bad things are in the party. I'd also want you to touch base on the state of opposition parties in Nigeria and what you make out of opposition parties in the country as we move to 2027.
Well, generally, political parties in Nigeria, they don't have any ideological difference. That's why when you look at the manifesto of the parties, you see that virtually they are the same. It's the leadership figure that determines, where the party goes eventually. And even if you look at it at the state level, is the governor, irrespective of the manifesto of the party, that determines what will be in the party. So you discover that the political parties, if you mention PDP, APC, Labour Party, ABGA, SDP, you discover that basically the basic things are the same. So ideologically, the parties are not different. And generally in Nigeria, there is no ideological politics. People just follow personal interest and leader of common mutual benefits. Okay, this person, if I follow this person, I tend to benefit. So let me follow him, irrespective of the party he goes. So we follow leaders more in Nigeria politics than the ideology of the political parties. So I agree with you if somebody says it's ideological bankruptcy when it comes to that. But when you're now looking at it in a deeper perspective now, you now see that all these the campaign and our attitude towards it, you discover that everybody is just looking for a platform to contest. It's either a platform to contest, a platform to benefit, and like I alluded to earlier, a platform to enjoy better immunity. You understand? So Those are the things that generally motivate movement from one political party to the other. So in Nigeria, political parties are just platform to contest. It does not necessarily represent your ideology. It doesn't mean whether you are a progressive or you are a conservative or you are a liberal. It doesn't matter. As long as you win the election and you have the opportunity to exercise your own personal manifesto. And that's what we have enjoyed so far. Did I answer your second question?
Yes, you did. But I also want to touch base on some of the things he said, and you briefly spoke about it earlier on. The ESWA governor stated that this is a selfless need, it's an altruistic need to, of course, give back to the people, connect Delta states to Aso Villa. The governor, Sheriff Oborowori, also stated that this is a movement. The notion they are sort of selling to Deltans, these politicians, is that this move is a good move for them. But in your opinion, do you think that this is a move for the people instead of a move about them?
Of course, not a move about the people. It's not for the people. It's about the politicians. It's about the political elites in the Delta states. They needed to be connected to the center, and that's what they are going to do for their own benefits. You have to understand something with our politics in Nigeria. To a large extent, we try to give the impression that, look, we are doing this for the people.
Right.
But in actual fact, you are doing it because of yourself or because of the political elites. Most of the time, they are in the minority. Now, the game for 2027 is on. It has started, whether we agree with it or not. Because my conclusion is you actually went for 2 weeks walking visit to France to go and kickstart the race for 2027. Because as soon as he came back, we started hearing all this defection, and even before he came back, he was in UK with Fubara too. So you look at it critically, you see that okay, that's the game. But are you talking about the interest of the people or about winning the next election?
And do you think the people see that it's not a move about them, but it's a move about the people who you've assigned to rule them or to rule the affairs of the state? Do you think they can see this move for what it truly is?
I don't think so. Nigerian electorates, to a large extent, they are naive, and I think they are ignorant of the real motive for so many things happening in the political space. Because that's why politicians can just wake up and give you one flimsy excuse, and you see people dancing and hailing them for such excuses. So they can't really read between the lines. So it has always been like that. Even since the time of Awolowo and Akintola, like Barrister alluded to, that's why most politicians want to have a very firm grip on media. Because whatever you reel out to the people, that's what they will take, hook, line, and sinker. So, but only very few. But the interesting thing is the very few that can discern and understand, they are often not the voting class. The elites that are not part of the political elites, that can understand the real thing happening and cannot be bought on the day of election. Most of the times, those ones are not even available on the day of election to cast their vote. So that's why we'll still remain going about in the same circle, not really moving forward appreciably.